Okay, I want you to try a little mental experiment with me right now. Just look around the room you're in.
Oh, I know where this is going.
No, seriously. Pick an object, a coffee cup, a lamp, maybe the phone in your hand. Now ask yourself a question well, it sounds incredibly simple, but it's actually a philosophical nightmare.
Go on.
Does that object still exist if you stop looking at it?
Ah, we are starting with the heavy existential dread immediately today, aren't we?
We have to, because today's deep dive is going to make you question whether you exist when no one is looking at you.
And we're doing it with, well, a very strange set of tools.
I'll say. We are looking at a stack of sources today that is, frankly, one of the weirdest combinations we've ever covered. We've got hard science, we've got ancient Eastern philosophy, and this is the best part. We have the operational logic of a CCTV security camera.
It is a fascinating combination, a really wild one. We are essentially taking this, mundane piece of plastic security tech and using it to dismantle the human ego.
It sounds ridiculous on paper, the zen of the convenience store camera, but I have to admit, once I got into these notes, I realized this narrative is it's a profound allegory for consciousness.
It really is.
It's all about the mistake we all make, thinking we're the player, when we might just be the screen the game is played on.
Or the lens. That is the core distinction we need to make today, the lens itself.
Right. So let's set the scene for everyone. The source material tells a story. It's almost a fable.
Yeah.
Picture a standard CCTV camera.
Good.
It's mounted high up on a pole in a convenience store. You know the kind. It's got that little red LED, the motorized swivel base. It's focusing, zooming, recording, day in, day out.
It sees everything.
Everything. It sees the guy buying milk. It sees the teenager stealing a candy bar. It sees the floors being mopped at 3 a.m.
And the crucial part of this fable, the part that transforms it from like a technical manual to a philosophy, is the camera's psychology.
Yes.
This camera isn't just a machine. In the story, it has an ego. It believes it is the seer.
Exactly. It looks at aisle 4 and thinks, I am witnessing the Doritos.
Yeah.
It looks at the checkout counter and thinks, I am monitoring the transaction.
It's proud of its work.
It's so proud. It believes that because it is capturing the image, it is the master of that reality. It thinks the world exists inside its lens. It's proud of its clarity, its resolution. It thinks, man, I'm doing such a good job seeing this room.
Which is, that's exactly how we move through the world, isn't it?
100%.
I walk into a room, I see things from my perspective,
Yeah.
and I implicitly assume that my view is the correct view.
Yeah.
I am the protagonist of the movie. Everything is happening to me.
The main character syndrome. But the fable points out the tragedy here, the fundamental flaw in its logic.
Which is?
The camera has no idea, zero concept of the administrator.
And this is where the allegory just shifts into high gear. The camera thinks it's doing the work. It thinks it is the source of the vision. But physically, what is the camera? It's plastic, glass, some copper wiring. It's hardware. The camera doesn't see anything. It just converts light into a signal.
The stream of data.
Right. The actual seeing, the understanding of the image, the interpretation, that happens miles away.
In the control room.
Exactly. There is an administrator sitting in a dark room, staring at a wall of monitors. The camera is just a tool, a remote extension of the admin's eyes.
So the camera's entire sense of self, I am the seer, is a complete...
Hallucination.
Yeah, hallucination. It's taking credit for a process it is only a very, very small part of.
And it has no idea. It just keeps swiveling, feeling very important.
That is, well, it's a little terrifying. Because if we map that onto us, which is clearly what the source material wants us to do, it implies that I, the person talking to you right now, am just a piece of biological hardware.
And that the you that feels like it's listening isn't actually in your head.
Okay. Before we spiral into a full-blown existential crisis and I forget how to speak, let's ground this. The notes bring up a very specific scientific concept to back this up. Local realism. Now, I've heard this term thrown around in quantum physics, and usually it's followed by a lot of confusing math. So how does it fit into a story about a security camera?
So local realism is basically the intuitive view of the world. It's what feels like common sense.
Okay.
It's the belief that objects have definite properties like color or position-independent observation, and that physics works locally. I see the red apple, therefore the red apple is there.
Which sounds completely reasonable. I see the apple, I eat the apple, it's real. End of story.
It does sound like common sense. It feels right. But Physiologically and even quantum mechanically, it's a bit shaky.
How so?
Let's just look at the biology first, because the sources are really strong on this point.
Mm-hmm.
Your eyes are lenses. They are literally the CCTV camera. They don't see.
They just capture light.
They catch photons. That's all. They turn those photons into electrical impulses that travel down the optic nerve.
The wire in the back of the camera?
Precisely. That signal goes into the dark room of your skull. Your brain, the administrator, never sees the outside world, ever. It never sees the apple. It never sees the light.
It only sees the electrical signals about the apple.
Yes. It constructs the image in the dark. It gets this stream of data, and it basically says, okay, based on past experience, this pattern of signals probably means red, round, apple.
So everything I think I'm seeing is actually a render. It's a simulation running inside the control room of my brain.
That's the argument. So the camera, my eye, or even my conscious mind, is taking all the credit for a movie that is being edited and produced somewhere else entirely.
And we get arrogant about it.
Incredibly arrogant. We say, I see the truth. But the camera is just a conduit. Without the power source and without the observer at the other end of the line, what is it?
It's just a lump of metal and plastic, lifeless.
It's a paperweight.
It's a huge blow to the ego. We think we're the director of our own movie, but we might just be the lens cap.
Ideally, we are the lens without the cap. But yes. And this brings us to the ad men. In the story, this administrator is the only thing that's actually alive. Everything else is just equipment.
And the sources get really interesting here because they start mixing math with theology almost. They talk about the administrator not just as a guy in a chair, but as a mathematical concept.
Yeah, this part I loved. The source uses a really elegant mathematical analogy here. It asks you to imagine the administrator as the number one.
Just one.
The singularity, the unity, the source of everything. You could call it God, the universe, consciousness.
Yeah.
But for now, let's just call it the one.
Okay, the one.
Now, imagine that one wants to experience the world. But one is lonely. It's just a single point of view. So it decides to divide itself.
Okay.
But it doesn't divide into fractions, like 1/2 or 1/4. It divides itself into infinity.
One becomes infinite zeros.
Infinite viewpoints. Infinite cameras. And that's us. Each person, each animal, each conscious being is one of those infinite viewpoints for the one.
Wait, so every camera, every person is just a fraction of the admin?
Not even a fraction, a viewpoint. This connects directly to a Sanskrit concept that was mentioned in the reading. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
Okay, what does that mean?
It roughly translates to all of this is the universe, or all is Brahman. The core idea is that there's only one seer, one consciousness. But it has billions and billions of apertures through which to look.
I like the window analogy for this. It makes a bit more sense to me that way.
Go for it.
If I'm in a house and I look out the north window, I see the street. If I then walk over and look out the south window, I see the garden. The view changes, the frame changes. But the person looking me doesn't change. I'm still the one looking.
That is spot on. That is a perfect way to put it. We are the windows. The problem is the window thinks it is the one looking.
Right.
The window frame is obsessing over its own paint job, thinking, look at how well I'm seeing this garden. What a great job I'm doing.
I am the best window. That north window doesn't know what it's talking about. It only sees boring old pavement.
Exactly. And that's the source of all conflict, according to this philosophy. The north window hates the south window because they see different things, and they're both convinced their view is the only real one.
And they don't realize they're just holes in the wall for the same guy to look through.
They're just different perspectives for the same observer.
It definitely explains why people argue on the internet. Different camera angles, same admin. But let's get practical for a second, because this is all very high concept.
It is.
The source material asks a really blunt question. If you could give advice to this arrogant, suffering CCTV camera, what would you tell it?
And the advice is brilliant in its simplicity. It's just, stop looking at the scene. Look at the wire.
Look at the wire.
Think about it. The camera is obsessed with the scene. Oh, there's a shoplifter. Oh, the lights are going out. Oh, no, my lens is getting scratched. It's completely absorbed by the content of the movie.
As we all are.
As we all are. The advice is to turn your attention 180 degrees. Look backward. Where is the power coming from? What is the force that is animating you?
So it's a shift from identifying with the content of your life, my job, my stress, my bank account, to identifying with the source of my life, the fact that I'm alive at all.
Yes. The source calls this prana, or life force, the electricity. If the admin pulls the plug, the camera is dead. Its entire existence is contingent on that connection. But we ignore the connection because we are so captivated by the drama playing out in front of us.
It's hard not to be captivated. I mean, the drama is in high definition. The drama is loud. My bills are very real.
They are. The experience is real. But that's why the source material brings in quantum entanglement. It's trying to show us that the drama of our separation is, at a fundamental level, scientifically suspect.
Okay, now, I want to be careful here because people love to use quantum to explain, magic crystals and stuff. How does the source make this connection without getting into pseudoscience?
It frames it more as a metaphor for non-locality. It's a way to understand the connection.
Okay.
In physics, quantum entanglement suggests that two particles can be linked across vast distances, acting as a single system. You measure one, the other is instantly determined no matter how far apart they are. The point is, they aren't two separate things. They're one thing in two different places.
So in our CCTV analogy.
The cameras look separate. You are there. I am here. We have different casings. We are mounted on different walls, looking at different scenes. But if we are entangled, if we are both running on the same universal consciousness software connected to the same server, then the separation is an illusion.
It's like a multiplayer video game.
That's a great analogy. Go with that.
Okay, so on my screen, my character is fighting your character. We look like enemies. We are on opposite teams. But in the code, in the actual game engine.
In the code, we're processed by the same CPU.
Okay.
You're stored on the same RAM. There is no real me versus you in the hardware. There is just the system running the program.
So if I realize that, if I really internalize that I'm just a character on the screen or a camera on the wall, what happens to my ego? Because my ego usually screams pretty loud when things don't go my way.
Ideally, the suffering attached to the ego vanishes. The camera suffers because it thinks, I am limited, I am small, I'm getting old, my view is blocked.
My lens is dirty.
My lens is dirty. But the moment it realizes, wait, I am not the plastic box, I am the electricity flowing through the box, then the condition of the plastic doesn't matter as much.
You stop worrying about the lens scratching. You're not the lens.
You realize you aren't the doer, you are the knowing. You are the space in which the experience happens. You can watch the movie of your life without screaming at the screen every time something bad happens.
And here's the hard left turn the source material takes.
Plastic does break eventually. The camera has a lifespan.
It does. And the source is pretty ruthless about what happens next.
It is cold, isn't it? It talks about the hardware upgrade.
Yeah. It says old cameras get taken down, new cameras get installed, and the admin doesn't care.
Well, the source says the admin doesn't mourn. That's the key distinction.
That feels harsh, though. I mean, we spend our whole lives trying to avoid being taken down. We eat tail, we jog, we wear seatbelts. We are terrified of the recycling bin.
Of course we are. We are terrified because we think we are the ones going into the bin. We think the camera is all there is.
So how does the admin see it?
Go back to the math. 1 multiplied by infinity. $1 times infinity. If you have infinite cameras and one breaks, 1 0 drops out of the equation, does it change the value of infinity?
Yeah, infinity minus 1 is still infinity.
So the admin just plugs in a new unit, a new baby is born, a new perspective comes online. The source argues that this is what birth and death are, just hardware swaps, routine maintenance for the universal observer.
But what about my memories, my experiences, the footage I recorded? If I'm just a broken camera in the trash, was it all for nothing?
But that's the beautiful part. The admin isn't interested in the hardware. The admin is interested in the data.
Okay.
The video feed doesn't stay in the camera, remember. It gets transmitted in real time to the control room.
So the experience I'm having right now, the like I feel for my kids, the taste of this coffee, the stress of traffic, that's the data.
That's the data stream.
Yeah.
And that is safely stored on the cloud. It's part of the universal observer's memory now. You, the real you, the admin, keep the experience. You just discard the device that recorded it.
It's like upgrading your iPhone.
Say more.
You don't cry when you trade in your old, cracked phone because you know your photos and your contacts and everything important are already backed up to iCloud.
That is the perfect modern equivalent. The cloud is the control room. The body is just the handset. We grieve death because we think we are the handset. We're terrified of losing the data. But if we identified with the cloud, we'd see it's just a release, a chance to get a new model with better resolution and more storage.
That is, wow, that is a massive shift in perspective. It makes you feel very small, but also huge at the same time.
It's the paradox of the divine lens.
Yeah.
You are nothing, just a piece of plastic. But you are also everything because you are the one looking through it.
The source material wraps this all up with one final image that I think makes this a lot easier to digest in the modern world. the Wi-Fi analogy.
Yes, I think this is the most accessible one. Imagine a coffee shop.
Okay.
You have laptops, phones, smartwatches, tablets. They all look different. Different brands, different operating systems, different users doing different things. One is watching Netflix, one is writing an email, one is scrolling social media.
But they are all useless without the signal.
Correct. There is one invisible field, the Wi-Fi, permeating the entire room. It powers the connectivity of every single device. The source suggests that consciousness is that signal. We're all just different devices with different apps running, but we're all connected to the same invisible network.
God spread into infinite forms to view itself from every possible angle. That quote from the source suddenly makes so much sense.
That's the why. Why go to all this trouble? Why build the universe? Why have all these cameras? Because the admin wants to see. The admin wants to know what it's like to be a CEO and a bigger and a cat and a planet. And yes, a CCTV camera in a convenience store.
So if I mess up today, if I spill coffee on my shirt or say something stupid in a meeting,
Then the admin gets to experience embarrassment in high definition. It's new data. It's a new angle.
I am doing a great job of providing that data lately. Here you go, admin. Experience awkward silence. Enjoy.
We all are. But it takes the pressure off, doesn't it? You're playing a role, the script is written, the power is on. Your only job is to keep the lens clean.
Keep the lens clean. Don't let your biases or your anger or your ego smear the glass. Just let the light in.
And remember that the voice in your head, the one worrying about the future, the one replaying the past, is just the software. It's the operating system. It's not the user.
So we've deconstructed the camera, we've met the admin, and we've backed up our data to the cloud. Before we sign off, I want to leave everyone with the question the source ends with. It's a real lingering thought.
It's the thought that changes how you walk down the street. It changes how you see people.
It really does.
Yeah.
If this is all true, if you are just the camera,
Right.
you are fragile and temporary. But if you are actually the admin looking through the camera, who or what are you really?
And the follow-up, which is even more important.
Right.
If you are the admin, who is that person standing next to you?
Oh, wow.
Who is that person you're arguing with? Who's that person you love?
If we're all connected to the same control room, then looking at a stranger is just looking at another one of your own cameras from a different angle.
It forces a kind of radical empathy, doesn't it? You can't hate the other camera without, on some level, hating the system you're both an inextricable part of.
So next time you see a CCTV camera swiveling in the corner of a shop, give it a little nod. It's trying its best.
It really is.
And maybe check your own wiring while you're at it.
Look for the wire. That's the whole practice.
Look for the wire. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We'll catch you on the next one.
Goodbye, everyone.